Welcome to today's Seidokan Saturday. We're going to begin with bunkai for Pinan Yondan. First concept of this, and I kind of talked about it last week, about the rising of the hands here, what the trajectory is. So Nick is going to be my compliant partner for the day, and let me use this for just a second. First, we have to address the concept of angles and center line again, relative to bunkai. So my center line, Nick's center line, straight up and down here, that's where my most vulnerable targets are. When we're turning to the side in kata, it doesn't mean my attacker is over here. It means that I'm placing myself either sideways onto the attacker, in which case if that was his vulnerable line, I'm turning my side where I can attack his center and mine is away from him, or I'm putting my center on him and coming to his side, one or the other, okay? In this case, we're going to be using the overhead club. Now, this could apply to anything. This first move, he could be grabbing my wrists, both wrists, and I could be turning here. But that really doesn't do much for me yet. My hands are open. The good thing about hands open, and you tell me what you feel. Squeeze tight. Now I open my hands. What happens?
Got a lot more tension in there.
I create a little space. So if I'm using it from a wrist grab and going this way, I can also bring this hand up behind and move it off, okay? From that position, then I would go into, in the kata, we go here. So this could apply to a variety of things. He could be choking me, right? I could come up and through, spearing him in the throat, clearing one of his hands as I go. This is actually a pretty standard front choke escape. And again, when he's choking, nobody just stands there. They're driving me back, they're shaking me or whatever. But at some point, I'm going to put my hands in his throat or his eyes. It works, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay? So if I can get my balance and stance for a minute, but in this kata, in Pinan Yondan, we're in neko ashirachi, okay? And our first move is on the left side. This goes right and left. The only difference is where I am relative to his body when he does that. So let's switch sides here for this one. Okay, so as he comes, he may be running in with this club or anything, but again, we're going to use the standard first controlled practical method, which is he's in uke kamae, he's in his attack ready position, standard karate, boom, he steps forward, throws the overhead club, boom, that's what's going on, okay? In real life, how would that come? He's going to be charging and just yanking down, right? But I'm still going to have the same response, all right? But I first want to practice. I want you first to practice, as I first practiced before I could do the other. I did the first. Practice first under controlled circumstances. So, uke kamae. My first is on the left. So in the kata, I start here. This hand, I'm going to step forward. Now, I kind of did this, a similar thing in Pinan Shodan. And I made the comparison Pinan Shodan last week. We'll get more into that. But this time, instead of block and punch, I'm open hand blocking and spearing. The spearing target is into the jugular for this, or up under the jaw into the lymph node point. I forget what the pressure point is. Some of my guys will know the names of this point. Okay, but I'm going to go straight into the throat because it works. So I block, deflecting, rising up into the throat. From here, the next move in the kata is to do the other side, but for now, I'm going to go right into this position. From here, I'm going to step with my left foot coming down. Stay there for a second. So in the kata, I've done this. Only I stepped forward. Then I would do the other side. After I've done this, I'm going to step with my right foot, driving him down. Okay? We need to move back for this because we're getting off frame here. Okay, same thing again. Hey! Block and spear. Oh, he missed. That's a shame. It's okay. Stepping forward, down position. Another step. I'm going to move to the side a little bit to help drag him to this shoulder. From here, I'm good enough. But what I'm going to do, using that same concept of rolling the wrists that we have in Yakusoku number 7, in YK7, Naran, is I'm going to turn his wrist. Now from here, I'm going to drop down and do this move as I pin, okay? That's going to do some, I'll hold him there. If I get really mean, this knee goes here. It's not going to go anywhere for a minute. Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay, just check. So in kata, 1, 2, then I do this side, and then here. That's what I'm driving the elbow. In. I set my side to his center line. I can either full on block if I keep my forearm square. I like deflecting, because then it's already coming down where I want it to be. Step toward his armpit, step toward his wrist. Break here if you choose. I could just break and punch across. I still have this. Okay? Or roll from here, rolling on the hand as I drop to both knees and his wrist. Is that fun?
Yeah.
Let's turn around. The second is like unto it. So instead of being on the outside of his arm, this time I'm going to be on the inside at his strike. Hey! So I'm on the inside, and I stop it here. From here, I'm going to come inside the collar, tight as I can, come inside the other collar, tight as I can, step. Now I drop my knee. I can pin him on his femoral artery, on his groin, but I'm going to be nice. And we have Juji Gatame, cross choke. We can do this a couple of ways. Simply by rolling the knuckles into the jugular and carotid, or by a push-pull, pulling up, driving down this way. The deeper I am on the collar, the more effective the choke. Okay? Now, he still has the club, doesn't he? Okay, hit me with the club. So there are all sorts of ways. I'm here on his femoral artery, I'm here on his brachial artery, or I'm on his groin, and choking. Arigatou gozaimasu. 1, 2, strike. I just did that reverse. It's good to be able to do it both ways. Okay? Make sure. Those are our first 2 sides. And again, that can be done from wrist locks, from 2-handed wrist grabs, from a choke, from a tie-up position. He could have me here, and I could just be pushing his arms off. A lot of applications for it, but the finish, either with the arm bar from one side, if I'm on the outside, or if I'm on the inside, going into the Juji Gatame choke. Thank you for joining. Hopefully that's fun for you to practice. And until next week, as always, let's keep practicing.